us. Richmond, we knew was probably our weak point of the playoffs, and Bristol was going to be a solid top five night until we had that tire issue. So the last couple of weeks, I think we've been really strong. Darlington, we had an issue on pit road that cost us the top five, but I think we still finished sixth. So, we're in a good spot. We're going to some racetracks that are notoriously really good for us compared to where we've been over the last couple of weeks. And I'm really confident. I think Greg and all the guys are working really well together, and we should be really good.
And do you think Las Vegas race is pretty much the same as it did in February, or with right side tire change and just different temperatures and so much happening since then that it'll be much different?
Yeah, I mean, I think the tire is probably the most crucial part of what we do. So for it to be different, that's definitely a big unknown. It's supposed to be a little bit more grip. So if it's more grip, I would say the race will be similar to February, just in the sense that the track's going to have less. So maybe it'll even out a little bit, but it's going to be really hot and really slick. So it'll be interesting to see how the tire fall off is and just how it reacts.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. We're going to take our next question from Lee Spencer. Go ahead, Lee.
Thank you. How are you doing, Alex?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Thanks for joining us. Kind of curious, you were really pretty solid on 1.5 mile racetracks earlier. And when I look at things like lack of practice, lack of qualifying, we have no idea where Hendrick Motorsports is on the speed chart. That being said, I've also had people tell me that there were some engines taken to the dyno, and after not faring well, that you guys really went to work in the engine department. Are you confident that, in the last how many races that we have left, that Hendrick Motorsports has picked up enough speed where they can be competitive with the other race teams?
Yeah, I mean, I think, we're always trying to find more speed and more power. Our engine shop works really hard to constantly try to find whatever they can find. And, I think we definitely fell off through the summer. And we looked in all areas and just tried to improve every area, and engines were definitely one. So I hope we have enough speed. I think at Darlington and Bristol, we definitely showed we had enough speed. Going to a place like Las Vegas, you look at how we were in the spring there. If we can go and do that again and finish it off this time, that'd be great. But it's really hard to say. Even for us, like not having any practice and just going to so many different racetracks to start the playoffs, I'm really not quite sure how our mile-and-a-half program is going to stack up, but I am really confident in it and think we'll be really good.
And you're a guy that did a lot of testing for the company. When you look at the penalties that came down yesterday, and you look forward to next year, do you think that losing the amount of testing NASCAR is going to take away as part of that penalty will affect you more with just performance with the current car or performance going forward with the next gen car?
Yeah, it's kind of hard for me to answer. Obviously, I'm not really involved in wind tunnel testing, but I know it was a internal error and that we self-reported it. But, other than that, I don't know how the restrictions really work and how that's going to impact us next year. I know we have a chunk of time less of wind tunnel testing that we can do next year, which is never a good thing. So it'll impact us somewhat for sure. It's never good to have less of that, but at the same time, it is what it is, and just focused on what's in front of us.
And real quick, your thoughts on if Bristol put dirt down to run, you're a dirt guy, but how do you feel about the possibility of seeing that if it potentially happens?
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for drive. I'd race lawnmowers if I had to. So cup car on dirt, it doesn't sound so bad to me. Bristol's a little interesting one. It's a great racetrack, and to see that racetrack kind of lose a race in a sense would definitely be a bummer. But I'm just interested to see, I feel like I'll find out about it when you guys do, but if something like that were to happen, how it would all play out. It's really interesting to kind of read the rumors and what everybody's saying. I think it'd be a lot of fun. I'm all for running cup cars on dirt. I never ran the truck race at Eldora, but I did run some ARCA stuff at the Springfield Mile, and that was a blast. Obviously a very different racetrack, but that was a lot of fun.
Appreciate your time. Good luck this weekend.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, we're going to take our next question from Zach Albert. Go ahead, Zach.
Great. Thanks, Amanda. Alex, this is kind of open-ended, but what's the main thing? Can you point to one thing that you've learned from being teammates with Jimmy Johnson?
Yeah, I mean, I get that question quite a bit, and I feel like the biggest thing is just how he treats people and treats everybody at the shop, and just how he is as a person. He's so humble, and, he's had more success than anybody currently racing has, and he's still the nicest guy in the garage, the easiest guy to talk to, and just a really good person. So just how he carries himself, we could all definitely use to be a little more like Jimmy sometimes.
And what do you think of his prospects, once he gets in IndyCar or sports cars or whatever it is that he decides to do with, it's not really retirement. I mean, it's kind of post-career extracurricular driving.
Yeah, I'm jealous that he's going to get to drive so many different types of cool race cars. It obviously sounds like he's going to have a lot of fun. But I think he'll do really well. He's going to be successful in whatever he gets in. He's so talented, and I'm just pumped to get to watch it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Great. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to take our next question from Chris Knight. Go ahead, Chris.
Hey, Alex, thanks for your time.
Yeah.
I was just curious, with the playoff schedule being thrown through a blender this year compared to last year, and with it going through such a shakeup, does that benefit you? You feel like more so than last year, or does it not matter?
I think this second round, last year we said how good it was going to be for us because we had run second at every track going into it in the spring, and then we didn't make it through the round of 12. So it's hard to say. I feel like there are some really good tracks for us, and every round has an opportunity for us to win, which is definitely good. But it's tough. It's never easy. The playoffs are hard. You have one bad race, and the whole thing is kind of blown apart if you don't have a ton of playoff points to lean on. So I don't think it's any better or worse for us. I think it's definitely – I'm glad that we have a shot to win in every round. And I think, if we make the round of 8, we're going to probably need to win to make the round of 4. So it's definitely good to have those opportunities.
Thanks, Alex. Best of luck at Las Vegas.
Thanks.
Okay, we're going to take our next question from Marty with ROC Sports. Go ahead, Marty.
Thanks, Amanda. Hey, Alex, how are you today, man?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Doing good. We had Brad Keselowski here yesterday, and he said about Las Vegas that it's the second most important race outside of Phoenix to win throughout the whole season, and that's coming in based off of the uncertainty of the races we got coming up in the round of 12 at Talladega and the Roval. Do you agree with that? Yeah,
I think that makes sense to me. Vegas is probably your best shot at controlling your own destiny over the next 3 races. Talladega, there's nowhere to hide. Anything can happen, and we all know how those races can go. And then the Roval is obviously a wild card. We've run really well there in the past, and the HMS road course program is really, really good. I'm not the best road course racer, but we have some good finishes there, and I think that comes from some really great race cars. So it's hard to say, but I think it's definitely a really important race for us.
And real quick, just following up on what's coming up for you in the round of 12. I believe you're just a few points above the cutoff coming in, if not below. Do you think that Vegas possibly right now is a must-win situation, or do you think you have a good possibility of pointing your way in through the 3 races?
Yeah, I think we can point our way in. It sure would be nice to go win Vegas, but we're above the cut line right now, and I think we finished 7th in points the last round. So we're obviously closer than I want to be, but at the same time, I think we have every opportunity to point our way in if we just have a good solid round and execute every week. We just can't beat ourselves.
Thanks for your time, man. Good luck to you this weekend.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, we're going to take one final question for Alex, and we'll take it from Steven with 24/7 Sports. Go ahead, Steven.
Hey, Alex, I wanted to ask you more of an abstract question ahead of Talladega. next weekend is the 20th anniversary of the 2000 Winston 500, which was Dale Earnhardt's final victory. Did you ever watch that race or rewatch it growing up? And what do you think the lasting legacy and impact of that race is?
Yeah, so I would have been 7. So I probably watched, but don't really remember watching at that time. I definitely, that's the race where Kenny Wallace pushed him to the win, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like I've seen that highlight reel a bunch of times, but that's probably about it. You know, I think obviously Dale's legacy at Talladega and speedway racing in general, and everything. I mean, every racetrack, but you know, he won a bunch of those things. So definitely big there. But as far as what that race has carried over, it's kind of hard for me to speak on, but definitely was a good one for sure.
That's fair. Thank you, Alex.
Yeah.
All right, Alex, we appreciate your time today on this Friday. Safe travels to Vegas. We wish you the best of luck this weekend.
Yeah, thanks. Y'all have a good one.
You too. And to all the media who are here, just a friendly reminder, we will post the video from Alex availability on NASCARmedia.com. Hope everyone has a great Friday. We'll talk to you again later this evening after the Gander Trucks race. So we'll be in touch. And if you need anything, feel free to reach out to us. We'll talk again soon.